Hello everyone, we are Robin and Graham.
In this video, we head to Bua Thong Waterfall, also known as the Sticky Waterfall, before checking out one of Chiang Mai's largest night markets for some amazing street food.
So come along.
Okay, so we made it to the Sticky Waterfalls. That was not the funnest ride. It was a double lane highway pretty much the whole way except for maybe the last 20 minutes. And it took us like just over an hour to get here. So my butt is super sore. It is not super comfortable riding on the back of the scooter. But anyways, definitely worth it from what I can see. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but this is a pretty big place that people often go to. I'm not sure if we're in a national park or if it's right beside, but we are right in the jungle here. It didn't cost anything to park. I don't believe it costs anything to actually go in. I guess we'll see when we actually start heading there. Graham's just packing up everything right now. But it is a Sunday. There's probably going to be a lot of people. That's kind of what we were warned, but I'm very excited to go check it out.
Also, just to add on what Robin said, if you are planning on coming here, it is open from 8 to 5 is what we've read.
So it looks like the waterfalls here are the same type of waterfalls when we did our hike in Khao Suk National Park. So I already know it's going to be grippy, and it's kind of crazy that we have already experienced a sticky waterfall before coming here. We thought this was going to be a first time experience. I think it's still going to be mind-boggling for us that we have so much grip going up a waterfall, but I think the plan is to take the stairs down because it was much harder to go down than it was to go up, and then we'll climb up the waterfall. So Graham thinks I shouldn't include this, but I think it's cool from a scientific perspective. But we just read the sign and it said that the waterfall is grippy because the water is super high concentrated with calcium carbonate, which has coated the cliff in a really thick limestone, which I think is really cool. That's what gives it that kind of grippy feeling and allows you to climb up it. It also says it's been really good for both Thai people and foreigners, and it's given the locals in this area a job to promote their region. So it's just a really nice area. I like it so far.
So the nature walk is unfortunately under construction, so we're gonna go climb the waterfalls. Crazy. It's crazy. We're literally just not slipping at all.
You're gonna jinx it, my guy. So Graham and I want to climb every single waterfall that's here, so we started all the way at the bottom with the fourth one, which seems to be the least busy. We've just reached the third. It definitely gets a lot steeper, and I think that's why a lot more people are interested in it. But the fourth one was really pretty. I think now we actually start to make the climb back up to the top before we came down. So we'll see how this goes with the camera. So they've put so much safety into place, I think probably because it is now a super big touristy kind of area. There's fences all along all of the steep parts, so you don't really have to worry about that at all. It kind of feels like I'm climbing up a water slide in a sense. Like it feels like the lifeguard's not looking and I'm climbing up the water slide instead of going down. So it kind of feels a little bit like that, or like an amusement ride. It's kind of weird that this is just like naturally occurring in nature. I don't know, that's just how I feel. Looks like this one is the last big climb to get to the top.
Okay, so we've made it to the top of the waterfalls. That was so cool.
It was really cool. I feel like if we hadn't experienced the sticky waterfalls in Khao Suk National Park, I feel like we would have had that same experience here where it's like every step we took, we were like, oh my gosh, how is this possible?
Mind-blowing.
How do we have so much grip? Because I feel like that's what we were constantly saying in Khao Suk when we did that hike.
Yeah.
So I feel like here, just with like it being a lot more developed and all of the people and stuff, it wasn't as exciting. But if you don't go to Khao Suk National Park and you haven't experienced this before, it is so cool.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing that neither Robin or I knew before coming here was that there's a 7 colors fountain area. But the only way to get in there is to be properly dressed. So heads up, if you are coming, make sure to bring some, like a shoulder cover and some pants or something to make sure you can get into the area, because Robin and I didn't know, and unfortunately we are not properly dressed, as you can probably tell. Okay, we had a quick little smoothie and a glass of Coke, fuel ourselves for the ride home, but now it's time to hop back on the scooter.
I think the strategy is to find a place for lunch halfway through so that we break up this super long drive.
Yeah. We have made it back to our place. We relaxed, took a shower.
That was such a long drive.
That was a lot of driving
We didn't even
today.
end up getting lunch halfway. We were like, let's just go the whole way.
Let's just get home. So anyways, we took a little break, but now we have come back out and it's Sunday night here in Chiang Mai. So the thing to do is to check out the walking street.
So this isn't actually the market that we're going to, but this just shows that if you just walk around the old city in Chiang Mai, you're bound to run into at least one, probably multiple. Okay, so the goal is to get food first because we barely had lunch and it feels like we barely eat today, so we're both quite hungry. We don't know where the food is necessarily, so we'll probably just meander through, maybe see if something catches our eye, but we're looking for food. Okay, that was really easy. we literally were like, oh, do we go right or do we go left? We're like, oh, we're feeling right. And like 2 steps down the line, it's the food court. So we're gonna go check it out. Do you want to start with dumplings?
Shocker. So there's not a ton of seating, and there's not a ton of big seating either. We are at little teeny tiny tables, probably only a foot off the ground, and little teeny tiny stools, probably also only a foot off the ground. But when a spot comes open, you grab it and you enjoy your food.
It's honestly like first come, first serve. If you see a spot, do not hesitate, go right there and take it because they fill up so fast. There's so many people out today.
Okay, so we started with the dumplings. Seems like every time we go to a market, we always start with dumplings. I think they're just always cheap and they're always delicious, so always a good place to start. But, so we got 5 for 55 baht. We got the chicken ones. I think they're gonna be pretty good. They're usually pretty good, so I'll give it a try. That's a good dumpling. Meal 1, that was delicious. On to the next one.
So the next thing on our list of things we wanted to try, we actually could see from where we were sitting, and I was super interested because it's green, but it's called a Thai pandan coconut pancake. But it's green. I don't know where the green color comes in. Kind of looks like a lollipop right now. I feel like it's going to be sweet. A lot of things here in Southeast Asia, at least the countries that we've been to, have been very sweet. Kind of just tastes like dough. Like, I'm not really sure. It definitely doesn't taste like what I would typically think a pancake to taste like. It feels like dough that's like been fried on the outside, but then the inside is like a little bit of a softer, maybe chewier texture. Not a ton of flavor, mainly just dough, but still pretty good.
Okay, our next thing, we needed something to wash down the first 2, so we got ourselves a blue Hawaii Italian soda. Also, The Thai pancake that we just had was 20 baht, and this blue Hawaii Italian soda was 30. Okay, so tonight we've been doing it where I save the spot, or Robin saves the spot, and I got to pick something. And so I just saved the spot, so Robin went to pick something, and she came back with garlic bread. I said to her before she left, I said, go get something substantial and get the main course. I guess we're having garlic bread for the main course. No, garlic bread is super popular here, and it is honestly quite delicious. We have had it a few times, and you just walk around with it on a stick and enjoy it. So we're gonna enjoy this one. I'm curious, what are you making?
It's called hashimaki.
Okay, so we were gonna go a little bit further down and get some noodles, but I heard this very nice gentleman explaining what he is making to somebody else, and it sounded really good. So I showed Robin, and now we've stopped here to grab it. So it's called hashimaki, and he explained it as a fusion between Japanese food and European food. So it's bacon and cabbage wrapped in a dough of some sort. So I think it's gonna be pretty good. Okay, this was so cool to watch him make. He put so much effort and detail, and like even when he was spreading the sauce, he's using like a little sauce spread and power stance or something like that. And then he gave us a little description on how to eat it. Also, sir, we got the bacon one. It was 70 baht. It has bacon, cabbage, and eggs wrapped in like a crepe, I guess. So the description he gave to eat it, he said you pull out this chopstick. Okay, so once that one's out, then you pull this one out. Now those are out, you take your spoon and you cut it. I also at one point asked if he put teriyaki sauce on it, and he looked at me like I was a strange person, so I don't think he put teriyaki sauce on here if you're curious. I'm gonna dip in the sauce to get a little extra flavor. That's fantastic. It's like, kind of got like a hint of barbecue sauce, a little bit of ketchup almost flavor to it. I think there's probably some mayo in there. I don't know, it's fantastic though.
It's like all the sauces I would put on a burger, but instead of a burger, it's a crepe. I would never put these ingredients together myself, but like strangely it works. Okay, I think texture-wise, maybe that dish wasn't for me. It was kind of like an egg texture, and I'm not the biggest fan of eggs, but it was not bad, and that was our last meal here.
But now we're gonna head back out on the street and see what cool stuff we can find. It's so busy.
They're so good. Whew, we just need a little break from the crowds. That is crazy. You're literally like shuffling down, and Graham and I have a strategy of if we see something on the other side, we yell cut so that we know to cut across people to get to the other side. But we didn't actually film yesterday, and Graham and I did a little bit of shopping. There's just a couple of things we need. We're looking for a couple Christmas gifts, and we found this place right behind me, and she does all of the sculptures herself out of clay, paints them all. So anyways, there's a couple of things I saw that I've been thinking about, so we're going back. Didn't find what I was looking for, but to be fair, she was literally making it yesterday, and Graham and I are still in Chiang Mai for a couple of days, so I'm just gonna periodically check back to see if they're done. It's kind of cool that we get like a top view of the street. Like this store is a little bit higher. It is just a mass of people. Like
you can't even see, there's literally no pavement in sight.
No, it's just
people.
heads. It's crazy. Graham and I aren't super like crowds, peoples. This feels like a nice breather where I don't feel so claustrophobic, because it is just, it's crazy.
It's absurd. You
It's
literally have no
definitely-
space.
Yeah, it's one of the most busy markets I think I've ever been to in
Oh
my
yeah,
life.
for sure.
Especially outside, just on a walking street.
This is also, I will say, one of the most popular markets pretty much in Thailand. So I understand that it's busy. The Sunday night market, walking street in Chiang Mai is
didn't
very
know that.
popular.
Yes.
So makes sense that it's busy.
Yeah. Okay, back to the crowd.
Back to the crowds.
So just as we were kind of walking home, kind of going off on a side street, we made it back to the Three Kings Monument. And when we thought they were setting up for the Lanterns Festival, this is actually what they were setting up, probably for the Lanterns Festival, but just not what we expected. It's all the, I believe they're the Chinese different years, like there's like rabbits and mouse and ox and whatever, all of those things. They're all set up, people can light candles. There's some kind of temple-y-esque looking structures in the middle. There's no signs of what this actually is. That's just like my interpretation of it, but it is really pretty. They have some lanterns along the perimeter too, so I'm really glad we ran into this. Okay, that brings us to the end of the walking market. We have been here for 2.5 hours about, and we didn't even see all of it. But Graham and I think we've had enough of the market. We've seen a lot of it. There's been a lot of people. It's the Lantern Festival tomorrow, so like Chiang Mai is packed right now with tourists. But anyways, we're heading home.
Okay, we have made it back to our place. That was a lot at the market.
It was a big market.
That's a huge market.
Probably one of the busiest and biggest outdoor markets I've ever been to. I could not get over that you were just kind of like shuffling one by one through, and if you wanted to like get across to the other side, you were cutting off at least 10 people.
Yeah, and like I just found it hard to even just shop. I'm
You
looking.
can't really like stop the flow of movement.
Yeah, I'm
you
looking
have
for-
to like be in someone's way.
I'm looking for Christmas presents, and it's almost impossible because you feel bad for holding up traffic. Anyways,
It was crazy. It was definitely
It was
something
crazy.
to experience.
yes.
I also don't think it helps that the Lantern Festival starts tomorrow, so I feel like this is like the busiest this city will ever be in the year.
We also wanted to wrap up our thoughts on the sticky waterfalls. I think it was really cool. I just think that like we maybe had our experience spoiled by Khao Suk National Park.
Yeah, I feel like experiencing them for the first time when we didn't know that we were going to in nature, like we just got dropped off by the boat in the forest. Like there was no buildings, no structures, whatever. It was just us in the jungle with these waterfalls. I feel like every single step we took, we were like, oh my gosh, how is this possible? We
Yeah.
have so much grip. And I feel like we would have had the same experience today being like amazed by these waterfalls if we didn't already see them.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was such a long drive, but I feel like if you haven't ever experienced sticky waterfalls before, you have to go.
Yeah, that's something you got to do. Mm-hmm. I would say I have 2 recommendations. One, probably take a shared taxi.
Yeah.
And 2, if you don't take a shared taxi and rent your own scooter, just get like a helmet with the visor, or you end up with a crazy red eye like myself. So
It was a tough scooter ride.
It was a tough
We've done a lot of
scooter ride.
scootering on this trip, but this was probably
That
the
was
worst
just the
scooter
toughest.
day.
overall, I think we had a great day though.
We did.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun driving the scooter and checking out the waterfalls and
Checking
kind
out
of
the markets.
waddling our way through the markets. So I think that's where we're going to leave this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
It is a bit of a drive from Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai.
It is.
Ready? I also think it doesn't help.
And see what kind of cool stuff we can find.
See what kind of cool stuff we can find.